Yeah, let's just do a lot of simulation sessions and all that
That's
type of
what I mean.
stuff. Yeah. All right, we are live on YouTube as well. I'm just gonna check real quick.
Beautiful. Geo coming in. We got school iPad coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure who that is. Geo, what's up, brother? So I'm probably gonna move the video over
Yeah,
here.
let's just do a lot of. Sounds
We
good.
have as much room on the screen as possible. Happy New Year to you as well, man. Appreciate it.
Hello, hello, Happy New Year.
So should we get a rolling?
Yeah, let's get started.
On YouTube.
Yep.
Got Jen in here. Jen's having a hell of a year.
Jen is killing it.
That's awesome. Love to hear that. So anyway, guys, so what we have right over here, if you guys aren't familiar with the software, this is SharmaFX. But what's going on right now is my group personally, we've been building this account from the beginning of January. It's January 18th right now. Beginning of January, just to get ourselves ready for the new year, right? So this is January 2021. Currently, we're in a swing trade, and we're also in a runner for a scalp as well. But I'm going to break down why we took those two trades, where we're at right now, and then, obviously we're going to start back testing and seeing what trades we could get down the road. So looking over here at the monthly, I'm going to get rid of some of these things. Looking at the monthly, obviously we had our tank from COVID and we've been in our recovery over here. So January 2021, we got vaccines that are already coming out from Pfizer and Moderna. Things are on their way up. We have a new administration coming in 2 days in the U.S., so that's another mover as well. But right over here, you're looking at price finally retesting this area of 142.100, right? This previous resistance over here, previous support over here as well. This previous bullish candle created a nice bottom wick past the high of that candle, but closed with no top wick. This candle, it looked like it passed the high right away, tapped into this area over here, and then rejected, creating a bottom wick, and then retrace a little bit back up to here, now creating a doji. So this is the current monthly candle. It's a doji candle, and we're only halfway through the month. So are we going to stay like that, or is this candle going to finally start moving? Looking at the weekly now, again, we've been in this bullish trend, but this 141.100 level over here, we've been holding this resistance, previous support, resistance over here as well. Definitely a key area that we need to pay attention to. This candle ended up breaking through it, tapping into this 142.100 level, and then rejecting, closing bullish, but below this support or below this resistance. This candle is bearish, broke below down here. You take a look, we'll zoom in a little bit. I know with the current trade that we're in, it's a little difficult to see, but this weekly candle came down and tapped into this wick of the previous weekly over here. So is this candle going to hold support and continue moving up and break through this level? Or are we going to hold resistance here and continue right back down where we know we've been creating these higher lows over here? Or are we going to create another one somewhere in here, hold support, and then continue right back up? Right, so looking at the daily over here, Gio, are you there? One second. Gio just keeps leaving and coming back in, just making sure he's good.
No worries, no worries.
All right, cool. So, all right, now looking over here at the current daily candle, our daily time frame, we have this resistance again. You can zoom out a little bit more too. Previous key area over here, we see price reacting to that area. Now we have this resistance over here, and I'm sure if you look to the left too, you'll see even more. It's just harder on MetaTrader over here, but we have this resistance. Price is reacting to it now. We don't need to look too far to the left until we start breaking 142.100, because right over here we have all this current price action and all these levels that we need to break. You really don't need to look too much to the left for that. So two strong bearish daily candles reacting to this area, kind of looking like a fake out. We have these wicks over here that was a resistance on the lower time frames, and price closed right back into that range and right below 141.100 over here. But one thing I want you guys to pay attention to, and the reason I'm in a buy right now, is because this candle came down into this level and we never broke the low of this wick right over here. So we knew we were going to get some kind of reaction, especially if you look at the previous candles on the lower time frames to see what happened once price was in this level of 140, 342. You have this candle that tapped into that area above this 10 EMA over here on the daily as well, and flip bullish, closing bullish. This candle created a bottom wick, past the high that, and continue bullish all the way up to 142, 100.
Yep.
So now, could we get something similar, or are we going to break through this level and continue down?
You also want to pay attention to all those wick rejections right into that area where you have your stop loss.
I'm sorry, what were you just saying? I was just reading Jen's message.
No worries. So all these wick rejections right here into the same exact area, starting off from this area all the way here. So you kind of want to start thinking about, like, all right, what are obviously there's people getting rejected there, right? So then why is this a very significant level? Is that a liquidity area? And you can tell that's a liquidity area because volume will always follow. And that's the same exact area that we just made a wick rejection into as well.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, look at all those wicks too.
Yep.
So looking at the 4 hour now take a look at the current price action of last time we were in this area, right? Nice bullish run from this area. Price just taking off all the way up to that resistance over there. So what are the chances we could get something similar right here and continue up? Again, you have no idea what's going to happen next, right? Nobody has any idea what's going to happen next, and you don't need to make money. All you need to know is what's the probabilities that price is going to bounce off certain levels.
Yep.
That's it. That's all you do as a trader. So now, what's the probability of price bouncing off, especially with the past 2 4-hour candles over here? Nice, healthy candles right here, these 2 candles. So what are the chances we could continue right back up, maybe stall a little bit over here, create a higher low on the 4 hour, and then continue right back up? But looking at the lower time frames now that you guys see the 4 hour, let's look at the 1 hour. So the 1 hour ended up holding a support over here. Nice healthy support. We ended up stalling somewhere in here last time we made this run up, coming right back down, holding support, and then continuing up. So could we be doing the same thing, hold support somewhere in here, and then continue back up? But we got this double tap here on the 1 hour. You see it clear on the 30-minute. But we got that second tap of that support here. Now we're continuing right back up. We broke the previous support over here and closed above. Are we going to continue back up?
I would also look at the structure. So even from the 4 hour time frame and down to the 1 hour time frame, that entire push down that we had is obviously an overextended sell, right? Yes. So if we go back up to the 4 hour time frame, just real quick, the structure here is still short-term bullish, right? So we do see price still pushing up. Give me 1 second here. Right into that area right there, right? So where is structure really broken here? So that would be the first thing, which would be right when price breaks below this. So what we ended up doing, exactly what you highlighted earlier, is all we're doing is just we're testing structures. We're creating higher lows, that's it, and we're pushing back up. Now, another thing to notice is after that sell-off from this consolidation, it's just been a major push down. We haven't had any corrective moves. So is this going to be what you said, a corrective move up? This is the analysis that I would do on the 4 hour, and then when I drop down to the 1 hour, you're going to see a lot more details, right? And that's where you start looking for those entry confirmations. The first area of target here, of course, is going to be this area that you have marked off, though.
Absolutely. It's previous resistance, 141, 100, also psychological level, 141 flat as well. So we're going to see if we're going to be able to push up unless we form some kind of resistance here and continue right back down, breaking this support, and continuing down into the 139 area. So looking at the 1 hour again, you guys saw what we just broke down. We're now above the 50 EMA. If you look over here at this previous bearish trend that we were just in,
yep,
we're now breaking it over here, right? So let's see if we hold support and hold this break of this resistance of the trend line and continue right back up, breaking certain levels.
Yep.
So looking at the 30-minute, I'll be able to break down our trade a little bit better over here, and the 15-minute as well. So what we ended up getting over here, and Tiffany got a nice sell right over here yesterday, but we ended up breaking off of this 143.50 level, we'll call it, right? Nice bounce off of it. We get that retest of that area again, but then we end up holding support with this candle right over here. Nice strong candle. We know if we look to the left, what has happened previously in that area, right? If you guys can see that. So we get the second bounce, and then we end up holding support somewhere in here, right? So we were anticipating price coming right back up. What I ended up doing, this 15-minute ended up, hold on. Let's double check. So I took this on the 15-minute, but the 30-minute and the 1 hour looked great at the time, right? 1 hour was creating higher lows over here, pushing up. And what I was anticipating was a bounce off of this trend line or break through the trend line, but at least a bounce off this trend line to then continue back down, right? Looking over here at the 15 now. I hate when this thing does this. There we go. Well, actually looking at the 30-minute right over here, 30-minute ended up holding this support right here. So with this candle, we ended up breaking above, holding support again, creating a higher low over here. Strong bullish candle over here. Are we going to hold this previous resistance over here as a support? We ended up doing so with this 30-minute candle. Now, this is definitely a high risk kind of a buy over here, but after this 15-minute candle created its bottom wick and then passed the high of that candle, that's where we entered that trade, right? We ended up coming right back up. I think we secured, I forget what we did. Let me see. That's why you got to journal your trades. Here we go. Sorry, history over here, so. Honestly, I'm not too sure what we did, to be honest with you. Let's look back over here. I believe we secured up here. Oh, you know what? I know exactly what we did. So price ended up pushing up about 7-8 pips up here. My stop loss was below this wick. I ended up moving my stop loss up below this wick over here. And then when this candle came up and then flipped bearish, the spread took me out. So I ended up risking 1% on this trade because I'm counter trend trading, right? So risk 1%. 1% of 10,000 is $100. So when this candle came back to our entry and flipped bearish, the spread took us out. I only lost $32 of that trade, right? Compared to losing 100. So I'm happy with that risk management with a counter trend trade. I could have left it in there because obviously we continue right back up to my target, but that's okay. I still had this swing in where I ended up, I believe our first entry was down here for the swing. So I was anticipating, it was over here actually. No, actually, it was the same exact trade. Sorry, I wish you guys were on the same session. You guys would all know what I was talking about. But I believe I took the same trade with a wider stop loss. So when price came back down to retest this area, I was still fine. As long as we didn't break below these lows over here, I was good. So I put my stop loss wide enough, right? We get the second tap and price continues right back up over here. So that's what we did. We're still in the trade over here and we're just, to be honest with you, I am so confused right now because we do have a scalp as well. Tiff, I need your help right now. What did we do yesterday? You strong with us? Am I alone right now?
No. I'm here.
So this was Tiffany's trade. She took a sell right over here after we closed below this support over here. So we got the bounce off the trend line. We get this nice close below the support over here. She ended up grabbing this area, and then this candle ended up hitting her TP, and she took that nice take profit right there. I think that was about 8.5 pips. So that was good. And then I believe I took another buy, 146.5, somewhere over here. Oh, you know what? I took this based on the 30-minute and the 1 hour. After the 30-minute, here we go. So the 30-minute ended up creating its bottom wick, holding support right over here. We broke the trend line over here. We got the little retest of that trend line. This candle never passed the low of that candle, held support, passed the high of these candles. I got in a little bit late right over here, right? My stop loss is at break even right now. This is an entry right here. I got in a little late of this. The spread also spread me out a little bit. And then I believe I secured up here at about 9.4 pips. All right, so once price reached our target up here, I secured, stops at break even after this quick rejection over here. So hopefully we hold support and we continue up. Thank you for your patience. I know that took a while, but when you're looking at so many trades all day long, reviewing your journal, going through all these different scenarios, you begin to forget a lot of this stuff. So that's a little recap of the trades. We're still in the swing. The entry was right here. This is the scalp. We're still in that scalp. We secured most of it. I believe I secured 80%. But let's see where we're going over here. We have this resistance that we now need to break. Right? Where's our next level? Based on the 30-minute, the 1 hour, where's our next level over here? It's probably this could be right over here, but we also have a little area right here that we need to pay attention to.
Would you be looking for
resistance.
Would you be looking for some sort of a retest, given that price is breaking out of this little consolidation area when you like hop up to the 1 hour? This looks like a consolidation area right here.
Where?
Give me 1 second. Right here, where the candles kind of struggle to break out of it. So would you be looking for some sort of a retest? Also, given that we just broke this short-term bear structure at this point.
Yeah, we can definitely, obviously, as you guys can all see, we have this consolidation, like Sherman just pointed out, right, that we're bouncing off of this area. I'll draw that for you. And now we ended up exiting that area with this candle over here and this candle over here. We can very well reject this level, right, and then continue right back down to retest our low, or retest this area right here to then continue up. Right, so that's what we're kind of looking for right now. Again, don't forget, we are definitely in a bearish trend over here. And to be honest with you, our section is done over here too. So we're probably going to fast forward to what do you want to do? You want to do Asia and London, or do you want to fast forward to New York?
I don't think it matters. I mean, right now, are we just focused on price action, or are you focusing on a specific time frame or session?
Well, both. You focus on scalping in each different session, but we can follow through with this trade since we're still in the scalp. We'll kind of fast forward through it.
Sure.
To see what price ends up doing, and then we'll trade the next Tuesday New York session.
Sure. Let's do that. Yeah.
Cool. So I'll kind of get through this faster. We'll skip the next 15 minutes. See if we end up holding over here. Okay, now we get a nice support over here. This is out of our session, so you guys there's no volume anymore. London is now closing, right? We could still get volume, but London is closing now. So this is where New York guys on Wall Street or any kind of investor, they're going to lunch, they're relaxing a little bit, and then they'll come back into the office in the next 2 hours or something like that. So right now, you just got to keep that in mind. You don't want to take any kind of scalps right now, even though this looks like a good opportunity as we created a bottom wick past the high that candle. We could be coming up into this area as well. So let's see what ends up happening, but we're going to keep skipping over these candles until we get to where we want to be. So now we're closing above the 50 EMA on the 30-minute. Just trying to get to the end of New York close. Hold the support zone. Formations. Getting close to Asian.
So that was London closure. We're going to Asia now.
Now in about an hour, it's gonna be 6 p.m.
Oh, okay.
Eastern Standard Time.
And that's Sydney Open, I believe, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So these candles over here on the 4 hour, it's still playing. 4 hour, starting to get a little bit weaker, right? So could we be coming down, reacting to this 10 EMA, coming down, forming a support to then continue right back up? My stops are at break even, so I'm kind of, just chilling with this.
Yep.
Looking at the 1 hour, 1 hour is above these EMAs over here, but still below the 250. All right, so 6 o'clock. Okay, so we have a nice resistance here now. This candle passed the low of that candle over here. If I only secured 50% of this scalp that I took over here, I would be securing another percentage up here, but I secured 80 down here. So I'm just going to leave that be. Stop trying to break even. It's kind of risk free. So we'll leave it as is. Again, my main analysis is the fact that we may get a nice bounce off this support over here to continue up.
Hopefully. So where's your current stop loss then? All the way down there?
Current stop loss is all the way down here.
Okay.
Yep.
And you're not going to trail that?
If we come back to my entry of the swing trade, I'll either close 50 or we'll see what happens at that point.
Oh, okay.
So I'll just you just leave it.
Because the reason why I ask is because the way that I would go about it is that bottom wick, if that bottom wick right there on the 1 hour is broken, then I would personally close out the trade, because that means we're gonna come back for a retracement, and then I'd rather catch a better entry.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Sure. Yeah, no, I'm expecting, like, if we even do come down into this area, maybe hold support to continue up. But if we start consolidating in this area over here and then start to break that support, then I know we're probably coming back down to 400 over here.
Yep.
30-minute, we're still ranging over here.
We got Morocco on. Is it Morocco? Am I pronouncing that right on YouTube?
Someone saying something?
Yeah, he just said, "Are you okay, Sharma?" And then I don't know why. I probably did something I didn't realize.
No, you probably they hear your voice.
Oh, okay, yeah, guys, I'm recovering. I got sick this week.
Nice little Asian move over here. Wow. Okay. So now, Jesus. Where is trades? Okay, so let's take a look at the trades that we're in right now. So we are up over 60 pips on the original. This is the swing trade. Which is this? Hold on. You know what? No, this is the scalp over here, because stops are already at break even. This is the swing trade over here. So swing trade's about to hit my TP. The scalp over here, I'm going to secure another percentage of this. So we're going to secure. There we go. So I'm going to secure another 80% of this and just let the rest run. Stops are still at break even. This swing trade over here, I'm going to close 80% as well. Just let the rest run, and I'll leave my. I'll take profit out, and then stops at break even, and then we're good.
So I'm curious to know, because like the way that I handle it is usually, so see how price is pushing up, right?
Yep.
And then after that consolidation and that type of stuff. So I just kind of want to hear like what's like your thought process. So here I see like
it's all time.
Right. So I see like a nice rally up, right? And then consolidation and then another nice rally up. So then here, essentially all price really ends up doing is like there's that retest with the bottom wick and then a continuation back up. So why move to just break even and not trail it? Because if price were to, like in my thought process, if price were to break below this, then the chances are we're going to come back into this consolidation or maybe even deeper.
Well, the thing is, like, instead of trailing it, I like to give it room, especially if I'm securing on the way up. But the reason I secured right here, if you guys look, it's 4 o'clock, but that's really, I believe, 10 or 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So the whole reason why I just secured at that point, it wasn't because of where we're at. Well, kind of is. But it's mainly because that's the time I'd be going to bed. So I was just able to hold this trade throughout the entire day, and now I'm going to bed. So now I'm happy with 50, 60 pips on 2 different trades. I'm going to secure that. I'm just going to take my profits and go. Now there are different risk management scenarios or techniques that you can use. One that I like to use a lot with swing trading as well is just trailing the stop loss below the previous 1 hour or above the previous 1 hour, depending on what kind of trade it is. But what I mainly like to secure. That's where I'm comfortable. Risk management, guys, that doesn't mean it's right? Same thing with your risk management. Doesn't mean that's right. Yeah. It's all up to the way you're comfortable in the market and whatever you see, right? Whatever your strategy is and what you see in the market, whatever you want to do, that's up to you. It's all subjective. So don't think that what I'm doing is right. Don't think that it's wrong either. It's just that's the way I look at the market.
No, yeah, where you took partials, I would have taken the partials there too. It's just the stop loss one. It's more like why move to break even rather than just trailing it because then
just to give it the space. Oh, okay. I feel like the closer any kind of stop loss, especially as a scalper, the tighter the stop loss, the more antsy you are. Okay. The tighter the stop loss, the less sleep I'll be able to get.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Since we're going to bed right now, if I have a wide stop loss, I know and I already secured my profits.
Yeah.
I know there's a high probability that that'll end up continuing the direction or whatever ends up happening happens. But I know I have a lot of room to breathe.
Yeah, that's an interesting difference because for me it's the opposite. Instead of having it at break even when I go to sleep, I get antsy at break even where it's I'm already 50, 60 pips into profit. If it were to come back and hit me at break even, I'd rather have it at trailed. It's a good difference.
Do you secure up there?
I'd secure and then I would move the stop loss right below the previous low, wherever the previous low was created.
Got it.
With that
so now what you guys can do, especially on GJ right now, is go back and back test that. How often, what Sharma was just saying was she feels comfortable securing and then moving her stop loss to break even, or not break even, trailing her stop loss, right? Now, what I was just doing was I was securing and I just leave my stop loss where it is, but it is at break even. It's not like it's in its original spot.
Right.
So go back and back test what works for you specifically. What makes more sense to you? Not that either one of us are right, because it's all a big guessing game in the markets, right?
Yep.
No one really knows what's going to happen. So it's really subjective as to what makes sense to you as far as risk management and what doesn't. And that's what you got to bring into your back testing, your live back testing, the live market, everything. You just got to really be able to test it and see what works for you. Yeah. But I love listening to other people's that's interesting. So you would move your stop loss up as well.
Yeah, I would move it right below that bottom wick that price made
right here.
Even lower.
Right here.
Yeah, right below.
Right
below
here. This structure.
Yeah, right here, exactly where your cursor is. Right
Makes
there,
sense.
Because to me that's a low that price just created.
Okay.
So the way that I would see that is price pushed up, came right back down, tested these areas, and then pushing right back up again.
So now we're safe. We shouldn't be breaking below. Plus, this is the 1 hour structure too, so you guys know this is strong. So yeah, that makes sense. I don't think it's that much of a difference.
Yeah.
Especially if you secure up here. If you don't secure, that is a big difference.
Yeah.
That's
why it's interesting because it's different ways of managing the risk.
Yeah. I love going on YouTube and just listening to different people's risk management and what they're thinking. I ask you guys, people in the group as well. It's interesting the way people look at the market.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's fast forward over to Tuesday in New York.
Can I see the 4 hour real quick?
Holy shit! Got a nice swing over here, Tiff. You said 4 hour or down?
4 hour.
Okay.
Yeah, so here on the 4 hour, personally the way that I would take the next trade, given that already we've looked at the structure, it's bullish, we're pushing up. I want to see how price reacts around this area right here. That's the last support, right? And it's also incredibly bullish here on the 4 hour, so I want to see some sort of a pullback or some sort of a break and retest, and then I would look for the entry as price breaks above these areas right here.
Exactly. Yeah, you guys know this is going to be a key area that we're reacting to. Now, the only thing is it's still, I think this is 12 midnight for us right now. So we're going to fast forward. We'll see what ends up happening during London.
Steph, you got a question. Do you trade session bias or do you normally wait for higher time frame swing trade setup?
I'm sorry. Do I trade what? What was it?
Do you trade session bias or do you normally wait for higher time frame swing trade setup?
Oh, I'm mainly a scalper. Like I rarely, I don't want to say I rarely swing trade, but I'm like 80% of the time I'm scalping, right?
Yeah.
But it'll be seldom that I'll hold on to a swing over a long period of time. But I just look for structure during my session. And
Yeah.
I look for my setups. That's it.
It's the
And you
same
know
thing
when you get the
across, yeah, it's the same thing across time frames, regardless of, whether scalping, day trading, swing trading.
yeah, yeah. The only difference is time
Yeah.
in between your trades. That's it. It's all the same candles, same wicks, same everything. It's you just gotta hold on to it a little bit longer. You have some more patience. That's it.
Yeah. So if you're
And then
going to swing trade,
Genesis.
you always want to take a look at the daily 4 hour and the 1 hour.
What was that?
Just to add on to that answer, if you're going to swing trade, you always want to take a look at daily 4 hour and the 1 hour.
Yeah, yeah. Those are your main like the key time frames that you want to be looking at,
Yep.
especially the 4 hour and the 1 hour. Those are two nice. You can get some nice entries on those.
Yeah. So is this
What's
the
going
four
on?
hour close right here?
Which stop loss is Jen asking about that you would use?
The stop loss, please, that you would use. Well, in this case, I'm not sure either, but if you're asking about like where we would place our stop loss, I think Stefano said that he keeps it at break even. I would keep mine right here. If these were my entries, then I would keep the stop loss at this point, given how further up that we've gone. Yeah.
And you wouldn't have moved it anymore.
Not until another low has been made because this is a nice push up. So legit, like all I follow is this, and then
A
every
low on the
time,
1 hour or 30 minute.
1 hour. We had
Okay.
a nice push on the 1 hour, right? So there are going to be retracements, and I want to wait for those retracements. So then I just look at where are we sitting when it comes to like this bullish structure. So for example, this move right here would be part of this. That pullback that we had right here would be this. And then currently we're sitting somewhere up top here, like in the peak, still waiting for support to be formed because I think this candle just closed, right? We have another candle forming.
Yes.
Yeah, so then I would want to see the next candle kind of break the highs. If it breaks the highs, then it means that we've created support, and then we can look for potential buys.
This is London open right now, 3
Okay,
a.m.
perfect. Yeah, so if price breaks the high, it seems like we have reacted off of this level right here that we were looking at on the higher time frames. So if price does break above that high and continue bullish, then I would enter that trade.
If we break the resistance, you said.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. So let me just fast forward, and then we're gonna start marking up from the. Ooh, okay, perfect. So it's 6 a.m. We're gonna go up to the daily. So this is perfect. Daily candle. We ended up rejecting this area, like we said. This candle created its bottom wick past the high of that candle, but now we're starting to get into this area over here. So we're gonna get a reaction. We already are with this top wick over here.
yep, perfect.
Now, what was it?
I said perfect.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So now we have this key area that we need to clone. So what's going to happen in this area? Are we going to be able to hold above resistance, or are we going to reject and then continue down to create another higher low that Sharma was saying? Something maybe like this. Price comes down into this area. You get the rest of that EMA right there,
Yep.
and we continue right back up. Right, we already got this strong bullish candle close, but this candle closed a very weak bullish candle at that area. This candle has no bottom wick.
Yep. So those are signs already that there is exhaustion in the market clearly, and that the price has to correct this entire bullish move. So there's two ways that the market collects orders, right? First is retracement, the second is consolidation. So those are the two things that we have to watch out for around this area, and then see if price breaks in one direction or another.
Yep. The 1 hour, I want to make these neater.
Sure. I want to see clear candle closes above this 4 hour or the 4 hour and the hourly level. Once we get that and then continuation up, I'm definitely looking for break and retest here. So once we get that and then we can continue bullish, that's an entry. Because even right now, what this looks like to me is still the same exact bullish structure that we saw previously, which was just this move here, right? And then we got a nice continuation up, and then you got another retest to continue.
Yep. Absolutely. And plus, like, you see these candles right over here pushed right through this area.
Yep.
Right, easily. So can we do the same thing right over here? 1 hour looks really nice with that wick. 30-minute closed above that level. Perfect. Closed above resistance. Look at most recent support and resistance. Oh no, what did I do? There we go. So 30-minute close right above that area over here. Now we're probably getting the retest. So I want to see a nice bullish close over here in the 30 or the 15.
Yep.
Let's see what the 15 looks like. Okay, so 15, we need to break above this resistance right here. Right now we're coming down to retest this area. So let's see if we hold this as support and continue up.
So as you play that, some of the questions that you want to be asking yourself when you're looking at these trade opportunities is, what is price doing on higher time frames? So daily, 4 hour, 1 hour. We just looked at all these different time frames. They're all insanely bullish, right? So now, are you just going to look for trade opportunities depending on usually how many pips you go for? Are you going to be looking for those trade opportunities on the 15-30 minute, or are you trying to turn like a scalp into a swing? And if you are going to wait for that, then obviously you need to wait for your confirmations from the 1 hour and 4 hour. If those are insanely bullish, you need to wait for break and retest. You need to wait for consolidation, break, retracements, whatever it is on those higher time frames, and then look for your scalp that can be turned into swing.
Mm-hmm. See, I would like to see this 15-minute kind of barely close above this area, like right there.
Yeah.
If it did, and this next candle create a bottom wick, see, we need to close. So the 15-minute close above that area. Uh-huh. Looking at the 30-minute passed below the previous, but it's nice and strong right now. Is there anything that anybody wants to do before we move on? No?
Nope, that's not something I would hop into, given the 1 hour time frame.
So the 5-minute looks nice too. It looks like we're kind of exiting this area, right?
Yeah.
So let's see if you get a little retest on the 5-minute.
What's the difference in trailing stop and moving it to break even? That's
What's the difference?
Yeah, that's a question we got.
I mean, there's obviously a big difference, but like, it's all what you prefer. Like, again, like I said, there's no right of way. I don't think, at least. I think it's all kind of subjective of what you feel comfortable with. Like, Are you getting antsy after price just hitting 100 pips in profit? It's like, all right, maybe that should be in my rules where I always secure at 100 pips. Or every time I swing trade, I'm always going to be trailing my stop loss below the previous 1 hour or above the previous 1 hour. You just got to back test it and test it out. What makes more sense to you? It can't be what we're just saying and you just take it and run with it. That's just not going to work because certain things are not going to make sense to you. You're going to have a lot of questions. Maybe we're not going to be available to answer all those questions. A lot of those questions maybe, go back and back test it and see how that works out, right? That might be the answer. And it's just you being resourceful and trying to figure out your own strategy.
There's always different ways to every single strategy. That's something that I've learned. There's a lot of mix and match that you have to do according to what works for you. I'm the second type of person that Stefanos described here. I'm the type of person who likes to turn my scalps into swings. If I see a scalp and I know that it's only going to be a scalp and there's a very high probability that I'm probably not going to find a swing trade opportunity that week, I'm fine with taking the scalp. But that means that I'm going to be trailing my stop loss on the 30 and 15-minute time frames. Versus if I know that there's great potential that week where I can find, let's say, swing trade opportunities, then I can look for scalps turned into swings, and I trail my stop loss based off the 1 hour and the 4 hour time frame. But there's a lot of a lot of details that I look at when it comes to candles. Like right now, I see clearly exhaustion at these levels. I see consolidation. I see candles not breaking previous highs, not continuing with volume. Those are all things that kind of come with time and a lot of back testing. And again, the way that I manage my trade is not going to be the way that someone else who may trail their stop loss is also going to manage their trade. So you have to kind of figure out what's your own strategy. You're never going to have the same strategy as somebody else. So the difference between the two is when you move to break even, you're risk free in the trade, but you're pretty much saying like I've secured as much as I could and I felt comfortable with while leaving this big enough room between the current price action and where price may be headed to give it enough room to retest and do all that type of stuff and then continue in the direction. But if it comes back and taps you out at the break even point, then you're not essentially getting out with additional profits that you would if you had trailed your stop loss. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. So this is a setup that I like a lot, but this candle needs to have a bottom wick. If this candle had a bottom wick and this candle created a top wick and passed a low, I would be lowering my risk and taking a quick scalp and closing the full thing at like 10 pips.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because a lot of times you get the fake out right here and this just drops. But a lot of times when this candle doesn't have the bottom wick and this candle doesn't have the top wick, this could just push down real quick and then reject and then continue back up.
Yeah.
Right, so just keep that in mind, write that down, go back and rewatch this when we're done, and keep that in mind so that next time you see this, you'll know what we're talking about.
I want to see some support, some higher lows again being formed here. And then if I can get like a break and retest, I take that entry. So even in consolidation, structure never really breaks. So even in consolidation, you came up, tapped into those highs, created a low, and you're pushing back up here, creating new highs. So what I want to see is this area here again being respected as support. If that can happen, we can get some sort of break and retest, like these two instances here. Then I would look for that buy at a very minimum coming here and then maybe even higher.
Yep.
But I would need that confirmation from higher time frames. I need to see what's happening on the 4 hour. I need to see what's happening on the 1 hour.
What do you know? Look at this. That's right back. Also, I just want to correct myself over here. I said I would secure at 10 pips. This is only like a 10 pip range. So this is something I would be securing like 6 or 7 pips right over here. That quick volume push. Once I see we're starting to react in this area on the 1 minute, the 5 minute over here, we're starting to hold support. It's like, all right, we're going to be coming back to at least retest to maybe continue down. Or we're just going to continue right back up since we were on a bullish trend.
And check out the different time frames. They legit follow the basic price action. Even on the 1 minute time frame. I personally don't trade the 1 minute time frame, but I see it right now. With that 1 minute time frame, there was a nice push down without any sort of retracement. So what did price do? Came back up, retraced right into that area, into your resistance zone, and then created a lower high and is pushing back down.
Just trying to scale it for you. So what were you saying exactly?
So right here, for example, you have that entire bear structure to the downside, right? This entire bear structure. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So what price ended up doing is a nice sell-off right here, collects orders, pushes right back up, creates a lower high, and then it's still pushing back down.
Yep.
It's the same thing that you're going to see on the 15, 5 minute, 1 minute, whatever time frame that you use.
So we'll go back to the higher time frames over here. 4 hours still struggling over here. 4 hours are getting weaker and weaker.
Yeah. So this is that consolidation that we're tapping into now. The market collecting orders here now, right? After tapping into those higher time frame levels, which is this area right here. Daily 4 hour.
Also, now that we're... Oh, were you still going? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just saying, like, now that we're up at this level and we're starting to react to it and hold resistance, what I'm going to do is now we can trail our stops. And you can either put them below structure or give them a little bit more room. And put it below all three of these EMAs over here. It's the wrong trade. stop loss right up there. You could really put it below this structure over here, but we could very well be coming down into this area over here, holding support, and then continuing right back up. So I just put them below all three of these EMAs and let it breathe. Right now we're consolidating in here. So this gets a little wacky on the 15-minute, but I do like the look of this fake out over here on the 30-minute. As this 30-minute created its top wick after closing back into the range, creates a top wick past the low of that candle. What are the chances after a fake out, price taps into the previous support? Or if it's going the opposite way and you get the fake out over here, what are the chances we retest the previous resistance in a downtrend? It's pretty high.
Yep, and you're about to get this hourly close here. There you go.
Yes. Nice strong resistance over here.
Yep, so all of that is consolidation in the 1 hour time frame. Let's see. So basically you trade off mainly on 1 hour and 30-minute, often both scenario. On which time frame do you manage those trades? So I look for my entries so I get all the confirmation 4 hour, 1 hour, daily, 30-minute. If I'm entering on the 15-minute, which is around if there's news coming out during that time, but if I enter on the 30-minute time frame, then my stop loss is based off the 30-minute time frame. If that trade has the potential to turn into a swing trade, then I will base my TP based off the 4 hour time frame. And then as the trade continues, let's say it continues in our favor, and I'm done trading for the session, I'm usually only on the charts for about an hour and a half, nothing more than that, every day. And so by the time that I'm ready to walk away from the charts, I'm going to take whatever partials that I can, make sure that I move to break even at the very least, and then after that, I'll try to manage it on the 1 hour. So I'm not on my phone either, like every single hour. I don't have the time for that, but whenever I can, which would be like the end of New York session, which my time is around 2 p.m. PST. So around that time, I'll look at the 1 hour and then trim my stop loss, and then Asian opens up 3 hours later. So then I'll take a look at if there's any volume coming in about 2 hours into Asian session. That's usually when there's like some volume kicking in. I'll trail the stop loss then, and then after that just kind of let it run until the next day's New York session when I come back and actually can look at the charts.
So we just got a hard rejection over here. 8:30 volume now. Is this candle creating a stop wick and pass the low of that candle? Could we be coming down to retest this low?
Yeah, I want to see some support if we're going to continue this bullish structure, which it seems like we are.
Yeah.
But if price breaks below that support that you just created, then obviously we're gonna start this bearish trend.
This is everything you guys want. I'll make it green too. This is the area that you guys trade in. Too many of you guys I talk to trade in this.
Yep.
Like why?
I mean, that's the consolidation even from the 1 hour time frame. So legit, all the, intraday time frames are telling you that price isn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
So
when we kind of joke around, we laugh about that. We're not like laughing at you. We're just trying to figure out like what's the decision making. Can't even talk. What's the decision making there? Like, all you got to do, like, I want a lot of you guys that are on here right now, just focus on your decision making next year and make it like top notch. I know you guys make a ton of decisions that you know you should be making, and you make them anyway, right? In the market, when you're taking trades, you're getting antsy, you're getting FOMO, you're taking the trade. You're like, I know I shouldn't be taking this, but you do it anyway. Just focus on not doing that. Just make the right decisions. Make the decisions that you're gonna be proud of yourself the next day, or the next week, the next month, the next year.
I think the problem is still that, you know how we talk about trading like a business? I think that is still the problem where a lot of people don't understand, like, what does that exactly even mean? I mean, if I'm running a business and I know that I shouldn't be probably making a decision at that time, maybe I should be waiting for maybe the next week or so, maybe next couple of days when I can get more information, take a better informed decision. I'm going to be waiting for the next week. And so that's how you should be treating trading, where right now you don't have enough information. You have consolidation, right? Enough information would mean breaking out of consolidation, waiting for a retest, or whatever your strategy may be, like EMAs, SMAs, whatever your confirmation is, waiting for that confirmation and then making that informed decision. A lot of people, they still don't treat trading like a business. They don't treat it like you have to have the informed or all the information to make an informed decision.
Yeah. Also, like one thing, you just touched on it, but one thing that we're going to be going over next week in the group is one thing that really successful like entrepreneurs or business owners do is they're able to decrease the time in between making decisions and taking action.
Yeah.
Right. So they if you can shorten that time as much as possible, you're going to be very good. Like, especially like in your personal lives as well. Like something needs to get done, just do it as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Right. Make the decision and just do it. Same thing in the market. If you guys know you should be out of that trade, make the decision, just get out.
Yep.
I promise you're going to be thanking yourself later. You're going to see consistency after doing that for a couple of months. You're going to start seeing it with your account. You're going to get more and more confident. Just make sure that you're able to cut down the time between making a decision and the action that you have to take.
Yep. A lot of people analyze. This is something that I hear from a lot of people on Instagram as well, is that they do the analysis and then they'll sit there and they'll watch the analysis play out. But the problem with them is they don't have the confidence to jump in. And this is probably, like this week I hopped on to probably 5 calls with people from Instagram, and 3 of them had the same exact issue. Right? And it's if you've done the analysis, you should feel the confidence of, okay, let me hop in. If you're trying out a new setup, if you're trying out a new session, if you're trying out a new pair, then do the analysis and then watch it play out a couple of times. That's one way to build your confidence. But I think the main issue is you could do all the paper trades that you want, you could do all the simulations you want, you could do all the demo trades that you want, but as soon as you have to place real money onto it, I think that's what gets to people.
A little side note, based on what you were just saying too, there's a lot of common factors between losing traders, right?
Yeah.
Between some of the things that they do and some of the decisions they make. But you guys have got to understand too, there's a lot of similarities between all of the things that make people successful too. Just grasp onto those, be a sponge, listen to them, and then move on.
Yeah.
Make that decision. How do you edit text over here?
On your Zoom? Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, it's just the next button on the annotate. So annoying. Alright. I'm not doing that. You guys get the point, don't trade in this.
Yep, so we're getting those perfect projections. So currently what I see is like on lower time frames, you see those candles closing in these areas. Oh, sorry. Can you go back to the 1 hour? Can you go back to the 1 hour real quick? Yeah, so you see all those candles on like 30 minutes, stuff like that, closing down here, but these are all rejections. So this tells me that this is all liquidity grab that's happening right now, liquidity generation. So what I need to see is clearly we're kind of just consolidating in this area, even with like this candle showing us like great volume. That's one confirmation that's telling me that, okay, there's some sort of liquidity grab going on. But I need to see candles closing out of these areas, or what I need to see is some form of break and retest here. We haven't gotten that. When I drop down to the 30-minute time frame, if you can drop down to the 30-minute real quick, what I see happening here instead is just volume in one direction or another. So price creates that low, there's volume, right? And then we reject this area, we push right back down. I haven't gotten a single proper break and retest here for price to continue back up, right? And then another nice volume coming back and tapping into these areas here again. What I need to see is break and retest above this, or come back right into that liquidity area with all these rejections that we see on the hourly time frame, and then give me some sort of break and retest to take this trade back up again.
Also, pay attention to this wick too. I always say it. Actually, just to make this different than all the other colors. This wick right here, when this candle closes bearish like that,
yep.
Especially when we're in an uptrend, a lot of the times that wick gets filled. Maybe not right away, but at some point it ends up doing so.
Yep.
We end up holding support, maybe not right where that candle closed, but sometimes we come down a little bit shorter and then further, and then we continue right back up and fill that wick.
Yep.
I've seen that many times. So now we're rejecting this area over here. Also, this is a significant area as well, 600, 142, 600, which we can mark on.
Yeah, if you mark that and go onto the hourly, you've just narrowed into your price action.
There we go. Yep.
You just narrowed into that price action.
Yep.
That's what you need price closing out of and giving you break and retest and all that.
Yep.
There's another question for you, Steph. When breakout happens...
No questions, guys? Sorry.
When breakout happens, do you normally prefer body retest or wick retest? For example, price makes bottom wick and then continues back up. Unlike me, I trade both London session and New York session, making me to stay on the chart 8 hours. Is there any psychological effects on trading 2 sessions at a time?
Not two sessions at a time. Are you saying, is there a psychological effect of just trading 2 sessions or 2 sessions back to back?
2 sessions back to back because they trade London and New York.
Okay.
And so they're on the charts 8 hours a day.
I think it just takes a little bit more mental discipline. Some people can get really what's the word for that? Not drained, but what's the word?
You get like those impaired decision making at that point because you think you see one thing, but you really don't.
This is you just get into sticky territory. I don't want to say you can't do it because it's always possible, but at the same point, you want to be able to keep your brain as intact as possible when it comes to the market and your energy being there and you're not just sitting there like drowsy. You don't feel like being at the charts. You're starting to see things that you really aren't seeing, right? Start to manufacture trades, stuff like that. I would be careful. It depends how long you've been trading. I wish it was on YouTube right now.
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
No, I was saying I wish I was on it.
Oh, okay.
I'll pull it up real quick. Just hope it doesn't slow the computer down. I have a bad habit of keeping a lot of tabs open. We only got 8 people on here. We need you guys. If you guys can, just like we're not asking for anybody. We're not asking. You guys can. If you guys can just share this as much as you can, it would mean the world to us.
Yeah.
Just helps more people get help. Hello, Steph. Do you trade session buys? That's an older question. Okay. When breakdown happens, do you normally prefer body retest or wick retest? Okay, so with that first question, Miroko, I like the body retest. The classic creates a high, we come down, we close bullish, nice bullish close, and then we continue right back up. That wick rejection, it's most of the time not enough for me. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying I'm not going to take trades like that. Sometimes, depending on the setup, we get it. But I really just would rather have candles close in my direction. That's a really solid part of my rules.
Yeah. And then there's another question for you in Zoom.
Unlike me. Oh, on Zoom. Okay.
Yeah.
All over the place. All right. Visitor. My apologies. I just wanted to inquire about the time when executing a trade in SharmaFX in relation to time and reality. Would 00 hours and the simulation be 5 p.m. Asian market or okay? So visitor, I don't know what your name is, but the what you want to do if you see sessions right here, right? Now I always choose New York close. Now New York close 1300 right here is 6 a.m. 1500 is 8 a.m. which is New York open, right? I'm not sure what GMT is, but those are the only 2 options that you have on here. But just keep in mind, 6 a.m. pre-New York time is 1300, and then 8 a.m., 15 a.m., or 1500 is 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, New York open. So whenever you go back on the SharmaFX, just open the Sessions tab, and you'll be able to tell, no matter if it's GMT or New York, which session you're in and what time it actually is.
And it highlights it for you too. So London and New York are in green. Those are the 2 that are open right now.
Yes.
On the side.
London is almost done right now.
All right. Same thing. We're tapping into those liquidity areas again.
Yep. 30-minute kind of closed below, but this isn't anything I'm going to take.
Another thing, what kind of like helped me when I was trading like multiple sessions, is just look at the simple structure. If you've had a nice bullish push up in like let's say London session, then obviously that bullish push has to be corrected in the following session, right? In the next like 8 hours or whatever it is. So then obviously think about the two ways that the market corrects itself and then look out for those two ways, retracements or consolidation. Right? If there's a nice bullish push up in London, the chances are it's probably not going to continue into New York unless there's like NFP or interest rates or something like that that comes out that supports that move. But other than that, pure like just based off of pure technical analysis, there's no fundamentals or anything like that coming out. You want to wait for those retracements. Legit, come back and stick to those basics, and then add your confirmations on top.
Absolutely. So the New York session's coming to an end, or not New York, London session's coming to an end over here. But New York is obviously, we're mid New York right now, but anybody that scalps New York, you're basically done by this point. Mm-hmm. We'll fast forward over to Asian real quick, and then we'll
wait, I want to see how these next couple of candles close here, because if we drop up or go up to the 4-hour time frame real quick. Yeah, I want to see if when is this 4-hour going to close, in the next hour or 2 hours?
I believe so. What is it? It's meant to be 12 o'clock. So we need one more hour.
Okay, so once this current 4-hour high is broken, I would take that trade to the upside.
Once the 4-hour is what?
Once the current 4-hour high here is broken, right here, I would take that trade. Or actually even like here, if we can get break and retest on lower time frames. And then take partials here and let everything else run.
I like it.
Because right now we're still bullish.
If that keeps happening, I'm sorry, but this happens every time.
Wait, what's going on?
I'm trying to open the sessions tab, and every time I got to keep doing this. Whatever. It's not that important. It's just trying to see when the 4-hour is closing.
Let's see. Can we check
holding support here on the 1 hour?
Perfect. What about the 30-minute? It's a new 1 hour. Okay. Alright, we're still in that liquidity area. Still need to wait for some sort of break and retest.
Yep.
Any other questions for us going into the new year? What are some of the goals that you guys are going to be working on? Or some things that you guys have had trouble with this past year that you want to improve in the following year? So we're here to answer any of those questions as well.
Yep. So Morocco has been trading for 2 years. Now, what are the different, since you're asking the question, like the psychological effects, like are you feeling any psychological effects from trading for 2 sessions in a row? Because you can very well do it. But like if you're starting to feel like some fatigue and stuff like that, maybe you feel like you shouldn't be doing it, then maybe stick with 1 session, especially if it's not working out for you. Also, like, where do you live and what's your schedules like? Because if you live in New York, you're up at 3 a.m. and trading all the way through, and then you have the whole day ahead of you.
That's a lot.
That's something I'd want to stay away from.
I wake up at 4 a.m. here.
My day is crazy enough.
Yeah.
What was that?
I wake up at 4 a.m. here and I'm done by like 11.
Oh,
like
yeah.
11, I'm in the bed. Don't contact me after like 10 o'clock.
Yeah, I mean, you guys got to understand, let's say you're taking trades throughout those 2 sessions too. Each trade, every time you enter a trade, that's an emotional decision because you're entering with money. You're putting money on the line. So that drains you a little bit. So every time you're in there, the blood starts pumping a little bit more. Your blood pressure goes up. doing that too many times. That's why I don't understand how people take 10 trades a session. It's just like you'll go gray within the next 2 years.
It's the hope. It's hope of like at least one of them playing out.
Yeah.
But then really, is like 1 out of 10 trade playing out really worth it?
Yeah.
Can we check the 1 hour real quick? We have about 10 minutes before this candle closes.
Looks good.
Yeah.
Still a mess, but.
So once I narrow into that price action on the hourly, what I need to see is clear candle closes just right outside this specific area.
Yeah.
Get those clear candle closes, see some break and retest, and there's really nothing stopping us.
You want to close above 600 and you want to retest, you're saying?
Yeah, some sort of break and retest right here.
Yeah, what kind of retest?
Legit break and retest either on the 30-minute. I wouldn't go down to 15-minute because this is a consolidation area from 1 hour, maybe even 4 hour at this point. 1 hour and 30-minute time frames. So I need to see some sort of candle close as price is approaching this, break, give me a retest, and then continue back up.
The reason I was asking because Morocco was asking about the what kind of retest you guys like. So
yeah,
would you just look for the wick rejection and then continue up with an impulse entry?
No,
or would you
candle
wait for
closes.
Cool.
Yep, actual candle closes.
All right. So Sharma, your trading partner will definitely take time and lots of discipline and patience to be profitable compared to Steph. You consider being open to new ideas from colleague. Not sure what she said. Or what he said. Sharma, your trading. Yeah. Do you get what he's saying?
I have no idea.
Yeah, excuse us if we don't understand that too much.
I mean, both of us are very open to new ideas.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
always,
right?
Always. But the difference between us and like most traders will get a new idea and implement it right away and start putting money on the line. Mm-hmm. Like they'll hear someone else's strategy and then boom, they just start trading it.
Yep.
Where with us, we'll go and test it out first.
Yep.
You got to be resourceful and be able to go back and back test it, see if it works.
Yep.
Do your studies, stuff like that, and then it'll be good.
Can I check the 30-minute real quick? We're about to have a close.
Yes.
All right, cool. We got some time here.
Any news coming?
All low
impact
yeah.
PPI.
I live in Nigeria, and both sessions are during the day.
Okay. And how many trades do you take a day and per session?
I'm still trying to understand the first question.
What's up?
I'm still trying to understand the first question.
I've read it like 3 or 4 times already.
Yeah.
Your trading partner will definitely take time. Yeah, that makes sense, Morocco. That makes sense. You got your whole analysis, planning everything out. I guess he doesn't want to explain what he meant. Also, podcast-wise, we'll be posting the next one on Wednesday.
Yes.
We're filming that on Monday, so you guys will get some of that. Miss doing those.
Yeah, I'm excited about this one.
Yeah.
This is very similar to, like, your Chris's story.
Is it?
Very, very similar, but, like, yeah. And I like that because it's a lot more relatable to a lot of people.
Yeah. I think, what I loved too, I still love hearing this, but what I loved when I was first starting out was listening to people that were below, like, let's say Wakil was my mentor, below Wakil's level, but succeeding. I want to hear what they're doing right now. Because you can't really relate 100% to your mentor as much.
Yep.
But if you can relate to someone that's a little bit closer to them, and I still look at myself like that. Like I feel like I'm a mentor, but like still closer to them. I'm like that bridge between someone making millions of dollars and also where they're at right now.
Yep.
I can help them reach that next bridge. But it all takes both of you, right? I was actually just going over that today with them. Like mentorship takes both sides. It's not just one side. Like both sides need to be working to accomplish what you both want to accomplish together.
Yep.
So you just got to be able to put as much as you can into it, participate, all that stuff, and you're gonna reap the rewards. I have a bunch of different testimonial, like long messages of people like from the past year, like James. I think James is in your group too, right?
Yeah.
So James sent me a long message of like how I was able to impact his entire year. He's in the shape of his life. He's doing amazing. He's happy.
Yep.
He's had the past too that I was able to help him get out of. Like it's just getting those are fulfilling, but like it was both of us putting the effort in.
Yep.
So like if it's just one person, you're not going to get too much out of it. So make sure that you guys, if you guys are in a mentorship, make sure that you're giving as much as you can to it as well.
Yeah.
Because you'll get a lot out of it. I think it's essential to have a coach in trading. I couldn't imagine not.
Yeah, and it's essential to have someone that you can talk to, like a mentor or someone, right? So if you're going to be part of a group, then you want to make sure that you're able to reach out to that person or that mentor and have a conversation with them every other week or something like that.
Yeah, 100%.
Because then, or else you just get stuck in that cycle of like, here's one mentorship, you went through like the courses or videos or whatever, but you can't reach out to the person, so your problem isn't really solved. And so you go on to the next.
So now I'm doing what Sharma would have been doing. There we go. So I'm moving my stop loss below this structure now. Now that we're starting to really hold resistance over here, we keep holding a strong support, but keep reacting to 600 over here. We're reacting for like how many times over here? But I'm just putting my stop loss a couple pips below this wick down here, right? Just in case we come down, I'm good.
Yep.
But what I like to do when it comes to my risk management, if it's a scalp, most of the time I'm really securing at 10 pips, and then I'll probably secure anywhere from 25 to 30, and then 100. And then after that, I'm just trailing stops.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm at that 100 mark, right over here with this swing trade. So this is something that like now I'll start trailing even more. I'm not going to secure anymore on this.
All right, we got like 20 minutes left until this hourly close, and then I think we have the next Asian Open, right?
Yeah, 1 o'clock.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I'm running low on time over here.
Shall we skip through on the 1 hour?
Eve?
What was that?
Oh, I was just asking what everyone's doing for New Year's Eve.
Oh, okay.
And what were you saying though?
I said, can we skip through on the hourly to see if we ever break out of that consolidation?
Ooh, 4 hour looks nice. Got a strong 1 hour, not strong, but weak bearish candle over here. This candle's starting to pass the high.
With a nice bottom wick rejection. I would, as price breaks that high, the current high that it's making, I would take that entry.
So if it breaks its own high, right here?
Right here, yep.
Got it. And what risk?
Just 1.5 or 2%, any of that is fine.
Okay, I guess I'll just leave it.
Yeah. And then, can we drop down to the 30 just so I can see where to place my stop loss?
Yep.
Alright, getting a nice push up. So, I would just place it right below, right here.
Okay.
There should be no reason for this price to retrace all the way back down if it is going to continue back up. Especially getting that break and retest from the hourly. The 4 hours lining up too, right? Where we created that support and we're pushing back up. Should be no reason for price to dip all the way back down.
We're above all three of these EMAs too.
Yep.
One trade per session. Perfect, Morocco. And how is this all working for you? Simon, absolutely, man. Appreciate it. So what I'm going to do, we're getting low on time. Let's see, 1 minute. So we just got that 30-minute close with that resistance right there, 600.
Perfect. We're kind of inching closer. If we can break that high, that's the entry.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I figured.
Just gotta break that high. that this is where your patience is really tested. Because for me, I wouldn't take this trade unless that wick is broken. So I need that wick broken.
And again, most people would be taking that trade already. They're like, all right, you know what? Like,
I would take it right there.
Take it right there?
Yep.
It's actually perfect.
And so
stop
now,
loss right here?
Yeah, no, the stop loss is now going to be tighter, below the previous 30-minute, right there.
Okay. Perfect. And TP?
All the way up top. Yeah, that's fine, actually. I think that's the... Is that the 1 hour support? Another 1 hour support?
To the left?
Yeah.
It's the resistance up here?
Yeah, so what I'm going to do is we're going to keep this as TP. And then if, as, price starts to give me some of this, if it does, then I'll increase the TP here. If it's just a nice shoot up, then I'm okay with this being the TP.
Okay. All right, let's do it.
Yeah, neither of us understood the trading partner question. If you want to rephrase that or something, that'd be awesome.
Well, so guys, anybody on here will get you watching, and then obviously you guys are on the YouTube. So if not YouTube, but the Zoom. If you guys in the Zoom, and I talked to you guys in my group, if you guys want to Zoom, please either schedule or reach out to me. Also, you guys on YouTube, if you guys need a Zoom and you just want to go over some things before the year, plan your year out, take a look at some trades, stuff like that, talk about psychology, please reach out to me. We'll schedule something. And I look forward to it.
Yep. I'm going to restart mine next week after I've recovered completely.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
I normally only do like my own, the people in my group, I'll do them on the weekends. And then anybody in the public that needs a Zoom, we'll do them during the week.
Well, that's interesting too, because I do mine on the weekends and in the weekdays, depending on my availability and the other person's.
Yeah, that's a big thing with us, right?
Yeah. All right, we almost got this 30 close. It's looking pretty strong as we're breaking out of this.
Yeah. Right now, I'm looking for the break of this resistance. I want a nice close above that. Maybe I'll take a breakout with a clean move to the left.
Yep.
Or we'll wait for the retest. We'll see how the candles look. It's going to be fluid.
Happy New Year, guys.
Thank you. Love from India. You know that Patrick Bet-David guy I was talking about?
Yeah.
I'm telling you about?
Yeah.
He's saying that India is going to be like a powerhouse in the next 20, 25 years.
They're trying to get ready for it, but it comes down to the actual implementation, and then also corruption is a huge problem.
Oh, I bet.
So you gotta get rid of that or something first before you can become like a huge powerhouse.
Mm-hmm. But they have the population that China does. They just don't have the policies. Like they're a free nation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a big deal. And that's a victory for us, because any nation with those values and they're a powerhouse, it's like, all right, we could be allies.
Yep.
Oh,
dang, nice dip.
yeah, it's all good. So yeah, that's kind of why I was waiting for that close above that resistance right there.
Yep,
But I see what you were doing. It made sense. We're staying above. I think we just grab liquidity real quick. We might head up again.
Yeah, no worries. I'd be open to give this another chance, but after those levels are broken.
Yeah, we just gotta close above that level.
Yep. For the live sessions, what time commitments do I need to set aside for each of your respective services, bearing in mind I am in UK?
Awesome. For the live sessions, what time? Well, so like for me, I'm trading 6:30 a.m. to around 8:30 or 9 Eastern Standard Time for the New York market. And yeah,
I trade 7:30, maybe 8 o'clock until 9. Legit an hour and a half. That's it.
Yeah. And then if you weren't familiar yet, we do Wednesday sessions together, 6:45 to around 9.
Yep.
On Wednesdays.
Hopefully that's been helpful too, even though like we do like a lot of analysis and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. It's at least we have like one of those a week.
Mm-hmm.
And also Simon, I have a bunch of guys in the UK as well in the group. So if you wanted to connect, I think Gary and Jaden and Justin are thinking about doing a London stream within my group. So if you were interested in something like that, we can talk.
Yeah. That's the type of stuff that kind of makes me happy, though. Like, really happy, not even kind of happy. That's the type of stuff that makes me happy. Like, when you can help people enough and then, like, they go out and provide value as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at, I just want to build leaders,
Yeah.
Build people that just want to get more out of themselves, get more out of their family, their friends, all that stuff. So if I get people stepping in like that, it's like, all right, let's go. I'll show you the ropes, see what I can do to help you, and let's go.
Yep. All right, want to do a couple of skip throughs or about an hour and a half in?
Yeah. All right, we got that close above, but with no top wick. So we need a nice support formed over here.
Yep.
But actually, that is a nice candle. Hold on. Looking over here at the 4 hour, I think we're getting a little wick rejection, because I like how we just rejected this area one last time. This candle has no bottom wick in the 1 hour. This candle created its bottom wick. We're starting the Asian session. This is our consolidation, and we're starting to exit that area. So let's see what this candle does real quick. 15-minute too. This 15-minute resistance over there. Now we know where that reaction is. So let's see if we hold above this area, but I do like this for like another swing with a stop loss below this wick to continue right back up.
I would personally want to see like a break and retest based off of the hourly, given that we're breaking out of all of that consolidation.
Okay. So I'm going to, I like how this candle's forming. Just going to put my stop loss down here, and this is going to be more of a swing trade.
Okay. Good stuff.
About a 1-to-1 over here. Actually, let's see if we can get a tighter stop. I think we get a tighter stop right here. Yeah, it should be good. About a 3-to-1 ratio. A 2.2 spread. Now, if we start to get a close or price starts to break 600 over here, then we know this isn't going to be a good, this probably wouldn't be a good idea. Now, this is a swing trade. I'm also looking for a scalp to see if we create like a high up here, and then we get a clean support for me. I might take a scalp to retest that high. my new trade right here, I guess. Of course, Simon. Where you from, buddy? I forgot what he said. I don't think he said anything. Oh, UK. So now we just created a high up here.
Yep.
So far, we could create an even higher high, but we have a clean move to the left.
These are just further confirmations of price now trying to continue in your direction if we can get a retest of that resistance that we just broke. That's what would give me my entry. Just broke out of this.
What are you doing Monday?
Monday, I think I am available. Let me check my calendar real quick.
Do you wanna do a backtesting session in the morning?
Yeah, we can do that.
Because I do have to run right now. I gotta go at 4:30. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pause this because this is a swing anyway. It's not like a scalp.
Yeah.
So we're gonna pause this. I'm gonna save it, and then we're gonna continue it on Monday morning. If you guys wanna, gives you guys incentive to come back, 10 of you guys on YouTube, and see how this thing plays out.
Yeah, that works for me. Yeah, I'm available. Right, so I'm available anytime before 8 a.m. PST.
Beautiful.
All right.
Anytime before 8 a.m. PST?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll go 6:45. Is that all right? Or is
yeah,
that
that's fine.
Okay, cool. So 6:45 Eastern Standard Time. We'll do it on YouTube as well. Here's a
perfect
session, and we'll pick up where we left off.
All right, perfect. So we'll see you guys on Monday for the simulation session, and then if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. If you want to take trades with us, feel free to put that into the chat too. And let's try to make this as interactive as possible. With that, Happy New Year, guys.